hidden in the Teutoburg Forest, where fog creeps like memory and stone rises like bone. There stands a formation older than history and deeper than myth, the Externsteine. To tourists, they are just jagged sandstone towers, sculpted by time. But to a secretive cater within the Nazi occult establishment, they were far more, the petrified remnants of a forgotten cosmic temple, where the ancient Aryans once harnessed energies no longer understood. By the time the SS cast its esoteric net across Europe, the Externsteine had already gained a reputation. Volkish mystics in the 19th century claimed the rocks were once a solar observatory, aligned with solstices and eclipses. The runes carved into their surfaces, some Christian, others suspiciously older, were said to conceal codes, directions, and warnings. But it wasn't until Heinrich Himmler personally toured the site in the 1930s that the stones became more than legend. Himmler, obsessed with reconstructing a pre-Christian Germanic spirituality, saw the Externsteine as a place of ancestral resurrection, a kind of racial Delphi where blood memory could be reawakened through ritual and geometry. Under his directive, the Ahnenerbe began surveying the site. But their interest wasn't purely archaeological. Deep within SS documents, some still redacted, are references to Project Irminsul, named after the sacred world pillar the Saxons once worshipped. Rumors suggest they weren't just trying to map the stones. They were trying to reactivate them. Witnesses from the nearby town of Horn described strange nocturnal activity in the forest during the early 1940s. Black uniformed men with strange instruments, geometric patterns carved into frost-covered grass, and fires that burned with blue flame. One local priest reported that his church bells rang without wind during the winter solstice of 1943, and that every clock in the village stopped for exactly 7 minutes. Some say the SS believed the Externsteine were more than symbolic. That beneath the rocks, in caverns now sealed, there existed a geomagnetic fault line, a blood current of the earth. As one Ahnenerbe geologist wrote, a current that, under precise ritual alignment, could bend not just the minds of men but time itself. There are fragmentary testimonies from Allied soldiers arriving in 1945, journals half-burned, etched with diagrams of spiral energies and earth frequencies. One notebook ended with a line that simply read, "The pillar has cracked. Something got through." No physical evidence survived. No machines, no bodies, just echoes. And yet, the myths persist. Each year, neo-pagans and esoteric seekers still gather at the stones during solstices, claiming to feel the pulse of something ancient and alive. Some speak of dreams after touching the central rock, dreams in dead languages and spinning suns. Others believe the Nazis succeeded in opening something, a memory vault, or worse, a doorway, and that what they awakened still waits, just beneath the surface. Was the Externsteine a forgotten power center of an extinct civilization, or merely the screen onto which a desperate regime projected its fantasies of dominion and divine ancestry? No one can say. But perhaps the truth was carved into stone long ago, weathered now, unreadable, but still humming beneath your feet, waiting for the right pattern, the right moment, and the right kind of silence to return. Codename: Treasure Hunter. In the twilight years of the Third Reich, as Berlin smoldered and the world closed in, a handful of Nazi scientists disappeared, not into bunkers, but toward the top of the world. Their destination: a desolate, frozen island deep in the Arctic Circle, Alexandra Land, part of the Franz Josef Archipelago, a place with no cities, no nations, and, allegedly, no rules. The mission was codenamed Schatzgräber, Treasure Hunter, but they weren't looking for gold. They were hunting something far stranger: Thulian relics, magnetic anomalies, and traces of Hyperborean technology, said to predate mankind itself. Officially, Schatzgräber was a weather station, hastily constructed in 1943 to give the Kriegsmarine better Arctic data. But in the sealed briefings recovered after the war, the operation had another designation: Magnetfeld Forschung Nordlicht. Magnetic Field Research, Northern Light. The base was staffed not only by meteorologists, but by physicists, archaeologists, and even a pair of SS Ahnenerbe cultural officers. What kind of culture they expected to find in the permafrost remains a mystery. For months, they endured the brutal cold, surviving on canned meat and what little they could hunt, until one misstep changed everything. Several crew members consumed raw polar bear meat, unknowingly ingesting trichinella parasites. Within weeks, most of the team was violently ill. Delirium, hallucinations, fever. One radio message, intercepted by Allied intelligence, read simply, "We are no longer alone here." A U-boat was dispatched in secrecy to retrieve them. Only a handful made it back. The rest vanished, claimed by frost, madness, or perhaps something else entirely. After the war, Soviet teams discovered the remnants of the Schatzgräber station, partially buried in ice. Among the debris, broken Geiger counters, crates marked with runic symbols, and lead-sealed containers filled with fossil fragments, none of which matched known species. One Soviet report described a twisted spine, like from a bird, but massive, reptilian. The sample disappeared en route to Leningrad. More curious still, a steel safe, frozen shut, that bore the Ahnenerbe insignia, an oak leaf wreath around a swastika, crossed by a Nordic sword. Its contents remain classified. Years later, declassified OSS documents would speculate that Schatzgräber was part of a larger Nazi effort to locate Hyperborea, the mythical Aryan homeland, said to lie beneath polar ice. Some believe the base was attempting to access subterranean tunnels, part of a long-lost global network. Others, more cautiously, saw it as a desperate, occult-infused bid for weather control or magnetogravitic propulsion. No one talks about Schatzgräber now. The station collapsed decades ago. Polar winds erase all footprints. And yet, there are whispers among Russian pilots and Norwegian fishermen who venture too far north. Lights in the ice, machines that hum, shadows where there should be none. Whatever the Nazis were digging for, they may not have found it, but something may have found them. The Andromeda device, Germany's last door to the stars. As the Third Reich collapsed, scattered and burning, a final name began surfacing in intercepted transmissions and destroyed field logs, a name not listed in any official Wehrmacht registry, but whispered among U-boat crews and SS technicians like a prayer or a curse. Andromeda Juret. Andromeda device. To Allied codebreakers, it meant nothing. A code name, perhaps. A bluff. But to certain circles within the Vril Society and the SS Ahnenerbe, the Andromeda device was more than real. It was the culmination of years of occult science, interstellar theory, and forbidden engineering. Officially, it was a submarine carrier, a secret class of craft, far larger than any U-boat the Allies had encountered. It was referred to in some documents as the Andromeda Juret. Andromeda device carrier. But it wasn't built to carry torpedoes. It was built to carry something else. At its core, allegedly housed in a pressure-sealed chamber lined with lead and quartz, was the device, a hexagonal structure of unknown material, said to hum at frequencies no human ear could perceive. Its origin is still debated. Some claimed it was reverse-engineered from ancient Sanskrit diagrams found in Tibet. Others believed it came from Maria Orsic herself, gifted to her by the Aldbarons, and built according to instructions channeled, not drawn. Whatever it was not built for Earth. In the chaos of 1945, as Allied troops surged into the heart of Germany, the Andromeda Juret vanished, slipping away from the Baltic coast under the cover of night. Some say it was escorted by 2 conventional U-boats. Others claim it left alone, cloaked in some kind of field displacement, invisible even to sonar. Its destination, New Schwadenland, Germany's Antarctic claim, and the rumored site of Base 211. Declassified British intelligence reports from 1947 include an intercepted interrogation with a captured SS officer. When asked what the final objective of the Andromeda unit was, he answered simply, "Not escape. Departure." 2 years later, Operation Highjump, an American-led expedition to Antarctica, was launched under the guise of research, but equipped with destroyers, submarines, and thousands of soldiers. The mission ended prematurely, shrouded in secrecy. Unofficially, some in the fleet reported aerial attacks by disc-shaped craft, faster than anything we'd seen, as one radio operator claimed, emerging from under the ice, then vanishing into clouds. Nothing was confirmed, no wreckage was found. But in 1952, a strange object was detected over Washington, D.C., hovering, shifting direction midair, and accelerating beyond jet speeds. Radar techs called it an airborne ghost. It bore 6 heat signatures, hexagonal, pulsating. To this day, no one knows what the Andromeda device was, or if it was even human-made. Some believe it was a dimensional engine, capable of folding space like paper. Others think it was an ark, designed not to save the Reich, but to preserve something darker. A handful of fringe theorists argue that the UFO phenomena of the post-war decades are not alien in origin, but German. Remnants, test flights, failures, or returns. Whatever the truth, one detail from an SS technician's recovered notebook haunts researchers to this day. When the device activates, light bends inward, time folds. The stars no longer move. It is not meant to fly. It is meant to leave.